Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, November 22nd. It is 6:22 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. Let's get here. There's a few more things here to do. And it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And that's place. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, as people start to join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on our clean chart. We start over here on the daily. Zoom out a little bit. Turn on the high-low indicator. And I'll start marking up liquidity from here. And on down to the 8-hour. On down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute, and I'll change the color of the liquidity here. Changes to red. Down to the 15-minute. Lastly, down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so we got a bunch of liquidity just sitting there. It looks like volatility has been super low. So looking at current price right now, there's currently liquidity. There's liquidity above over here at 35,225. So this is going to be the first level of liquidity right here. Then we have lower liquidity down below over here at 35,167. Right there. So we got liquidity on both sides right here. I'm not sure where price will hit. Looks like the ATR is kind of low right now. It's currently at 7. So kind of similar to what we saw yesterday. There's not really too much of a surprise here because, as you guys know, it is Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. A lot of people have taken, early vacation. So there's no surprise here that the volatility is super low. So with that said, we do have liquidity sitting on both sides. Here is our clean chart. I'm going to go ahead and mark up 6:30 right here. 8 o'clock. I'm hoping we have at least some decent liquidity, before market opens, but there's no guarantee that'll happen. So we'll see. So let's see if there's any zones here for us to to mark up for structure. We got the support right there. Go to the 1 hour. We got the resistance up there and the support down below right here. Let's go back down to the 1 minute. All right, so this right here is going to be the 4 hour resistance level. And this right here is going to be the 1 hour support level. So we got that marked up right there. This is our clean chart. We'll come back to that a little later. Looking over here to this chart, this is our high-low scalp chart, and then our main chart right here. So for our main chart, let's mark the news real quick. We had news at 4 o'clock, 5:30. It was negative, kind of mixed. So 4 o'clock and 5:30, we had news. So over here at 4 o'clock, there is news. And 5:30. It's like a big candle right here. So again, news at 4 o'clock. And news at 5:30. And then we have a bit more news over here at 7 o'clock and 7:30. All right, so we got that coming up. News at 7 o'clock and news at 7:30. Looks like price is pushing up a little bit into the 4 hour resistance right there, as you guys can see. Your market is opening in about 20 seconds. So we'll see what happens here in 20 seconds. And we'll see where price ends up going. So price is starting to climb up a little bit right here pre-market. And we got market open right about now. Market is now open. All right, so we'll see what happens here in a few. Price is currently at the 4 hour resistance right there. I'll mark up opening price. So we got opening price right here. See how far this resistance is. It's got quite a bit of distance right there. So there goes price pushes up higher. Climbing up right there. Over here real quick, mark up opening price. There. There's no entries right now, guys. I'm just following price right now as price continues to move back and forth from where it's currently at. It's just a lot of uncertainty as to like direction of price. Obviously, price is super bullish right here. It's moving in the direction of retail sentiment. You guys have been following retail sentiment for the week. You guys have an idea that it's been bullish, right? So if you look over here, so retail sentiment is currently 68% short. This indicates that 68% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. However, price is a bit overextended. I'm looking at my multiple screens here, just looking at how price is currently moving. I do think price will continue pushing up, but it might push back down to opening price here and kind of just range here for a bit. You guys got to keep in mind that today is the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm not expecting too much volatility today. ATR is currently 15, so it's looking pretty decent right now, but it's not great, right? It's just looking decent because 15 is like the bare minimum. Usually you want it to be around 15 to be entering trades, but if it goes any higher, even better. But if it goes lower, I'm not going to be too I'm not going to bum that it's going to be super dead because it is Thanksgiving Eve. Also, we have this big candle right here, or we have the candles pushing up through the 4-hour resistance, like we mentioned earlier. Looks good, but as I mentioned before, it's a little tricky because it might bounce off this area here. We might get a fake out around this area, and then price might come all the way back down. Or it might do the opposite. It might just continue climbing. Either way, we're going to wait for price here to stabilize a bit before we start looking for some entries. We have news at 7 and we have news at 7:30. So looking at this right here, price pushed up pretty heavily. Let me see if there was any. So it looks like there could have been a momentum pullback scalp entry right here. So we might have to wait for another momentum signal. You can see how we had a buy signal right here. Price pushed up, trend was bullish, price kind of retraced right here, and then it shot up even heavier. Yeah, Andrew said he's definitely not taking the breakout. It's super overextended, so I wouldn't recommend taking it either. I think price has pushed its distance already, and it's due for some retracement. So this would be the breakout V2 right here, if you guys are looking to take that. But again, if you measure from this lower point here, I know it's not overextended yet, but it is getting there. Actually, it's already overextended. Price has pushed up 1,090 pips. So 1,090 pip push right there from the low point here to the high point. It's due for retracement. But again, if you guys are looking to take the breakout V2, this would be the breakout V2 entry right here, if you guys are looking to take it. Again, I don't really recommend you guys take it, but if you guys do want to take it, I'll mark it up for you guys right there. As I mentioned, price is overextended. I don't recommend you guys take it. I think overextension is probably going to be one of the key things to look at over the next couple of weeks, because price doesn't really move too much. So when it does move a lot, it's going to retrace at some point. We've been in a ranging market. So obviously you guys know how ranging markets work, right? When price ranges up, it has to come back down. So you have to look for those overextension points, because you don't want to get caught in that overextension. It looks like we might get a bullish push today before Thanksgiving, and then a flat market tomorrow, but we'll see. So right here, again, you guys can see this is where I marked up earlier. I said a fake out might happen right here as price pushes up, and then it might come right back down to opening price, right? So there's just too many scenarios here. There's one scenario here. So one scenario is price fakes out right here, like it just did, and then it comes back down to opening price, right? That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is price pushes up, ranges around this area, and then finally breaks out to the upside, right? Scenario number three is price pushes up, ranges within this area, and then comes back down. You don't want three scenarios. You want about two scenarios. Anything above two scenarios is just too much, because there's too many different things that can happen here. And you can get faked out in both directions, right? Depending on how wide the range is. The range right here is currently, it's about 300 pips. So it's not super far out, but it is pretty far. If you go anywhere over 30, you can hit your stop loss before it goes to your TP. So pips to this counter scalp might hit, but against bias, I don't recommend taking it. Yeah, so the breakout V2 here did not play through. I'll add this to the spreadsheet, but it's not an official entry. I did warn you guys not to take it, so definitely did not look like a good entry there. So let me add that to the spreadsheet over here for the breakout V2. So today is the 22nd. It came up at like 6:33. It was for a buy. It was a loss, -250. This is typical for a holiday week. Heavy movement to the upside on open. Entry came at over extension. All right. Yeah, entry came at overextension. Let's see. Andrew said, don't we need a red momentum? Yes, that's correct, Andrew. So we need a red momentum and then two green candles for a momentum counter scalp. That's what would need to set up for. There was pending red signals here. So I think that's what Kip was alluding to. So like he was looking for the red signal to close, and then a following 2 green candles for the correction back up. But I don't think they played through. I mean, obviously it played through, there's no red candle there, but it would have set up for one if that red signal did close. See if there's any other zones here to mark up. So I'm not going to mark up another high here, like another resistance, because we already have the 4-hour resistance here, but there is a higher resistance point right here. You can just pretty much bunch it up with a 4-hour resistance level here and just identify this as, fake out area. So let's take a look at the overall bias for today, just in case we decide to take, the high-low scalp or V1 variation. So looking at this for today's overall bias, we already know retail sentiment is bullish. So retail sentiment, and this is what I like about retail sentiment, is that it doesn't change very often. So 68% short, so it's bullish, 68% short. Fundamental bias is currently it's still pretty neutral. It's back at, or actually it's bullish now. So it's bullish 139 points. So bullish as well, plus 139 points. Short-term technicals, I could already assume short-term technicals are going to be bullish. Actually, I think we have a bullish market for today. Long-term technicals, I'm assuming is going to be bullish as well. So let's take a look at everything real quick. So looking over here, we currently have short-term technicals, all bullish, price above the pivots, trend meter green, pivots angling up. Looking over here on the higher time frame, same thing, price above the pivots, trend meter green, pivots are angling up. So with that said, yeah, we have a very strong bullish bias right now. So we'll see, this might be a high-low scalp, original scalp entry. So we have a higher high right there. We'll see if price breaks above it. It can set up for 2 different entries. It can be a regular high-low scalp, or it can be a high-low scalp V2, depending on like where price ends up going from there. We do have a strong bullish bias, so we'll see. We have news coming up at 7 o'clock right here. We have news at 7:30. So just a couple of things here to look out for. As you guys can see, price is starting to range right here between this area. So it's doing kind of what I was mentioning earlier. So earlier on this clean chart over here, also we had liquidity get hit. So the same liquidity I marked up earlier right here, it blasted right through. So pretty much first level got hit, full TP. Second level got hit. Third level got hit. Fourth level got hit. And the 5th level right here is still pending. So it's retesting that area right there. Retesting that area. This might be a high-low scalp right here. You guys are looking to take it. Again, price is a little overextended, so you might want to be a little careful, but this might set up for a high-low scalp, original high-low scalp. It'll set up for an original high-low scalp, and it'll probably also set up for a high-low scalp V2 if it does pull back below. So if you guys are looking to take this here. All right. So it looks like this candle is not going to break and close above it. Yeah, no entry there, which is fine. Okay, so that's fine. So this might still set up for a high-low scalp V2, but it's not going to be an original high-low scalp. This candle already broke past it right here. So with it breaking past it, it invalidates this as a higher high. It can still set up as a high-low scalp V2, but no longer a high-low scalp. So just keep that in mind, guys. Yeah, Kip said a momentum pullback scalp just hit too, which looks like it happened right here. So price pushed up, pulled back right here. Entry could have happened right here or right here, either 2 of these levels. I mean, it wouldn't really matter, either one. It looks like it already hit TP. So momentum pullback scalp. We'll have to look for a retracement confirmation before we can look for another entry. But as you guys can see over here, this might be setting up for a high-low scalp V2. There's nothing happening right here because the previous candle didn't close above it. You can't reuse it once it's been tested. Here is the 5-minute time frame. So we're getting a huge bullish push today. It's just we just don't have the confirmation yet. So the 4-hour resistance right here pretty much broke through. The ATR is pretty decent. It's at 16. It's not great, but it's better than 15, so it's still doing all right. Let's see. All right, let's see. Alan's question, Sean, what are your momentum bars set at? You shouldn't be able to set anything for the momentum bars, Alan. They're default settings. So there's nothing here that you can really change. The only thing you can change here is if you turn on scalp, but there's no settings for you to actually change for the momentum. Momentum's going to be based off whatever time frame you're on. So if you're on the 1 minute, it's going to show you what the momentum is on the 1 minute. If you're on the 5 minute, it'll show you the 5. But you can't change the settings. Originally, you could change the settings, but I took that off, so that wouldn't be a problem. So there's no option there to change settings for momentum. It's just the default. The only thing you can turn on here would be the scalp. If you turn that on, you'll get gold bars if you want to be confirmed on different time frames, but you should have that turned off unless you're using that strategy. Let's see. Layla said, "Happy Thanksgiving. Greatly thankful for Bro Sean, who's our professor and mentor. Changes lives without even knowing." Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks, Layla. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, happy Thanksgiving or happy early Thanksgiving. You know, it's Thanksgiving Eve right now, so you can see the market is you're either going to get a lot of volatility or you're going to get a lot of flatness. So, like last year, I think the market was flat the day before Thanksgiving. We didn't really have much movement, so I wasn't expecting much today. However, today we're getting a ton of volatility today. As you know, price continues to climb up higher, which is great. I mean, this is kind of what we want, right? We want the volatility, but we want it to be consistent. So looking at this right here, we currently have a possible high-low scalp, just original high-low scalp pending over here setting up. If this here doesn't invalidate, it's been about 3, this is the 3rd candle, so this might invalidate, but we'll see if it comes up and touches. If not, it might also set up for a high-low scalp V2 right here. So there's 2 different opportunities here that might be coming up. So if it pulls back below this point, it might be a high-low scalp V2. If it pulls up above this point, it might be a regular high-low scalp. So there's a couple of things here to look at. Price has not pulled back below this point yet. This is the first candle, 1, 2, 3. Has 2 opportunities to break and close below this level right here. If it doesn't break and close below this level, then this is going to be invalidated. But we may have an opportunity for an original high-low scalp here. Let me measure from this low. Price is not overextended yet from this point. So this leg is still pushing up. And again, we would have to wait for this candle here to close above this higher high right here. But you guys can see how price is consolidating a bit at this point. It's kind of a scary area to trade in if you don't want price to consolidate like that, right? It's currently above the 4-hour resistance, so it's consolidating right here. As price continues to squeeze, it's going to break out either to the upside or it's going to break out to the downside. So might be a bit of a risky entry here if you guys are looking to take that high-low scalp. We'll try to weigh the pros and cons, but right now the volatility is starting to die down a bit. You can see the ATR is still at 16, but it's probably going to slow down a bit. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan said double-edged sword. All right, so we have a high-low scalp V2 that's setting up right here. I'm probably not going to take it. Looks like price is due for retracement. I'm going to hold off on it. I would have been okay with a high-low scalp over here, the original, but if price pulls back like this, it might be a little risky. If you guys do decide to take this trade here again, I would probably recommend taking a smaller TP either at the 200 mark or at the 100 mark because the volatility is starting to die down. I would be okay if the volatility was still high and it was still pushing back and forth, but with the volatility getting slower like this, you know, it's probably best to just get in and out of the position. So With that said, we currently have a high-low scalp V2 that's currently pending right here. You can see we have a higher high, price broke and closed above it. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 on the fourth candle right here. Price retraced and faked out. Now you're waiting for price to push back up, fill the order, and push to TP. So right here, if you guys are looking to take the high-low scalp V2, your pending order would be right here for a buy stop. And then it would just, as soon as price pushes up, it would trigger your order and push right back up. So kind of tempted to take this for maybe 100 pips. Let me see if I can maybe get in here. I might be a little late. I'm too late. Yeah, it's too late. Sorry, guys. I was tempted to just get in for a quick 100 because I do expect price to push back up. But again, it's just too late. I was going to set my pending order. As soon as I try to set it up, price was already at entry. So I'm not going to take the entry. I'm not going to FOMO into it. There's no need for me to FOMO. I'll just wait. If price ends up pushing it back higher over here, I'll get in at the higher high or the original high-low scalp. So I'll just basically catch like the remaining move of it up here. But I'm not going to FOMO into this right here right now. All right, so if you guys are in the position, I'm following it. Unfortunately, I was trying to get into it, but it just came back up too quickly. Because it does look good. I mean, the overall bias right now is super bullish. Like, let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is now at 69% short. So it's looking pretty decent. I mean, it doesn't look super amazing, but it does look pretty decent. Looking over here at the fundamentals, obviously bullish. The only thing here that's kind of tripping me up is the low volatility. I don't like how price is just going sideways like this. Because it's, I mean, if you look over here on the higher time frames, price is obviously overextended. You can see over here on the 30 minutes, a huge candle. 1 hour, huge candle. 4 hour, pretty decently sized candle. So it's due for retracement on the higher time frames. And that's where it kind of becomes tricky on the lower time frames because, you know, they kind of coincide. So let's see what time is it right now. It's 6:49. So it has about, so it's got about 10 minutes until this candle here, the 30-minute closes, and 1 hour. So in about 20 minutes, these candles will close. And then, you know, you'll see if price continues to climb or if it continues to retrace back down. But at the moment right now, the market's kind of slow and it's kind of flat. So again, I'm still not in this position right here, guys. I'm just going to watch it. Yeah, I'm just not feeling comfortable with this slow volatility. It was nicer earlier when it's climbing. Like if it was moving like this, then great. But it's been going sideways right here. And I don't like that, especially not for these types of entries. You know, one of our rule of thumbs for the high-low scalp V2 is to avoid the entry and prices ranging. You can see the price started to range right here already. So we already identified the range, you know, 5 candles back over here. So not in any positions right now. Again, I'm just waiting for some sort of confirmation here for me to look for an entry. Yeah, there's just nothing for me to take right now. Let me see our price from here. Almost. And this market just ended up being super flat. So here's the thing right here with this 4-hour resistance. And again, there's a couple scenarios here I'll mark up for you guys. So there's a fake out that could have happened right here. And then price could be trying to come back down to opening price. That's one scenario. This is an unlikely scenario because price is so far up already. The other scenario is that price is just ranging and consolidating around this area. And it's going to keep ranging and consolidating until it decides to break out, right? To the upside or to the downside. The third scenario here is that price has now established this as a support since it broke above it, and now it's retesting this area before it continues its climb. Right? There's too many scenarios there. I don't like that. I typically want one or two. Like I want price to either just be ranging and either, you know, break out to the upside or break out to the downside. At that point, I have like a 50-50 chance. And then on top of that, my confluences will add up. But this right here, there's just too many different scenarios that can play out. I think the key thing here that's kind of tricky is that price is stuck within this 4-hour resistance level. I think if price was above and it remained above, it would have been better. But you can see right here, price is now it's looking like it's doing that other scenario that I mentioned, the fake out and correction back to the opening price. So target price point might be opening price right there. So I haven't taken any trades yet. Again, we're just waiting. There's no there's no opportunity here as we continue to wait here. So now that we have the sell signal here, this is a good thing. Now that we have a sell signal, we can actually start looking for, well, the momentum counter scalp is still there's still an opportunity for it because this right here, right? We have a red sell signal. If there's two green candles that follow it, that could be a opportunity for a momentum counter scalp. The counter scalp hasn't come up yet. And then also, we might have opportunity for a momentum pullback scalp. The ATR is currently 16 right now, so there might be opportunity here. But again, you're going to have to wait for a better confirmation before you can start looking for that there. But you can see right here, price is coming back down to opening price. I mean, the thing that a lot of people can do too is if you guys really, because I know some of you guys like to take price back to open, you guys can just wait for my analysis. When price pushes away from opening and you start to see a heavy push to the downside, like you start to see some bigger candles push down, you can literally just take a trade, like a sell, like in between, and then write it back down to open, right? But that's typically where price goes. I mean, because there's some people who just really like that strategy. I think it's a risky strategy, but if you do it properly, you know, I'm pretty sure it's going to come down and touch the blue line right here, which is opening price back to open. So yeah, that's one way. I mean, I've traded that way before. If you guys have traded with me in the past, I always take, and there you go. I did exactly what we anticipated, right? So if you guys have followed me before, you know, a lot of times in the past, I've taken a lot of these trades where I call them speculative trades because they're all speculation. This is speculation right here. It's like if you start to see price starts to wind back to opening price, if you start to see some heavy movement, odds of it coming down and touch opening price is very likely. I haven't taken trades like that in a while because I have so many accounts now. You know, if I eat a loss on my account, it's going to hurt because I have like 9 accounts. So it's going to add up. Like one loss is going to add up to 9 losses. So I don't really take risky trades like that anymore, but you guys can see how that could work. So here, let me just show you real quick. When price started to turn right here, see how price starts to turn right here? You could have started to think about entry when price came down on this following candle. So this next candle right here, price started to spike down right there with the sell signal. You could have started to think about entering right here back to open, right? You could have done that. And if you wanted to do a 1-to-1, you could have done that. You know, 44 would have been the points right there. You could have just even dropped it down to 40-40, like a whole number, or even 35-35. And then you could have just had this lined up there. So as soon as price would have gone down to this point right here, you could have entered your actual sell. So at that point, you would have entered your sell, and then price would have came back down to open. So there's a lot of different ways to analyze this, but I pretty much marked the charts entirely for you so you guys can see these price points and you know exactly where price is going to go to. So hopefully nobody took the high-low scalp V2 over here. It just wasn't a good area to trade in right here. Like I warned before, whenever you guys see that ranging movement, you want to be a little careful. So the other thing that you want to look for here is, opening price is going to be one of the targets. The other targets will be the sessions down here. The other targets will be liquidity, right? Pretty much all liquidity here got hit already. So there wasn't any other liquidity to look for. Pretty much every liquidity that price pushed through right here went straight through. Again, we have lower liquidity down here. And we have, here we go, as price comes back down. So price is now pulling back below the 4-hour resistance. This here could be another fake out and correction back up, right? So I would be careful taking sells here because there just might be another fake out right here and price might just swing all the way back up. Yeah, Barack said there was a season when we took a lot of profitable speculative entries, not just the Rickies back to open. That's funny that you call him Ricky. Yeah, Rick's back to open. You call him Ricky though. That was definitely one of his. That was the thing that he liked to take. At that point, he was one of the guys that took the strategy a lot, and it did hit for him for the most part. It's just when greed would come into play, you'd start to over trade, revenge trade, and that's typically where it would not play well. So if you guys take that entry is fine. It's fine as long as you don't get greedy, right? Because when you take a loss on that trade, you just have to eat the loss. That's a risky trade. It's meant to lose. And here goes a fake out that I just mentioned to you guys. So it's faking out perfectly and it's pushing right back up. There's no V1 variation there. It's just pushed back to the upside. Would have been nice if it was a V1 though. And then we have news in 3 minutes. So I'm going to hold off right now. We've got news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. It's high impact news, I believe. And go back and check the calendar. Yeah, we have consumer sentiment coming up at 7 o'clock. We want to be careful with that. Consensus is that it's going to be negative. I'm also assuming that it's going to be negative. So we'll see what the consumer sentiment is looking like. Let's see. Kip said he took 2 unofficial trades, both full Kodi Kai strategies. The original breakout for TP1, the momentum pullback scalp after breakout, both had its risk, but aligned with additional Kodi Kai confluences and my experience with the market. But now it's time to practice discipline. So I'm done for the day. Catch y'all later. Yeah, definitely, Kip. We'll see you here tomorrow or Friday, actually. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So no trading for tomorrow, guys. It's a good little break. We don't really take very many. Well, we never take breaks. The only time we don't trade is during holidays, I think. I think that's literally the only time we don't trade. And sometimes we still come on during the holidays. So we'll see. Yeah, exactly. Barack said back then when we were taking speculative trades, volatility was never an issue. Yeah, the market was super volatile. It was like during COVID time. It was pre-COVID, COVID, and then post-COVID. The volatility was just crazy every single day. We currently have a buy signal here that it's currently pending. It's right before the news candle, so obviously nothing for us to take there. But if that becomes the case, we might be able to start looking for a momentum pullback scalp. The ATR is currently 17 right now, so it's not really bad. It's decent actually. And it might be setting up for some opportunities. All right, so we got the news candle right here. I'm gonna go and mark that up real quick. News candle right there. I'm assuming the news is negative. Price is coming down kind of heavy right here. Take that off. Take that off. And also there was no buy signal that close. There's no momentum pullback scalps available just yet. Looking over here, the news was negative. Yeah. It was negative, or actually it was kind of mixed. So consumer sentiment was positive. Consumer expectations was negative. It was a mixed bag right there. Let's see. Alan said, I think I did something wrong. My charts don't look like yours. Can we talk after the session? Yeah, sure, Alan. Or you can just send a screenshot. Take a screenshot of your chart and then put it up. I can probably tell you real quick what you did wrong or what you did to it. Yeah, just take a screenshot of your chart and you can either send it to me privately or you can send it right there in the Zoom. There's nothing going on right now, so you can kind of just send it in. I can clarify for you. Alan said you're on a different computer. What do you mean, Alan? Wait, Alan said you are from my charts. Sorry, I'm totally confused about what you're referring to. You can't you are from my charts. What do you mean by that, Alan? I don't know what you're talking about. You're saying Alan said you are on a different computer than my charts. Can't do a screenshot. Andrew said, look on your father. So Alan, you can just take a screenshot. You can take a screenshot with your phone. You can take a screenshot on your computer. Yeah, I know. I'm talking on a different computer, but you can still screenshot whatever your chart is on. Like you can just take a screenshot of this right here. You can click copy link, and then you can post it on wherever, I don't know, wherever you want to post it at. You can send it to me through Discord. You can send it to me through Zoom. You don't have to send it through me through the same computer. You can send it to me through anything. I'm just trying to figure out like what the problem is, because I'm pretty sure it's something super simple. I don't know like what could be different, because you can't change anything to the momentum signals. Everything is like literally the same. There's no changes that can be done to it. You could go to the settings here. You can change whatever you want on here. It's not going to do anything to, I mean, you could change the colors. That might have been something you did differently, but there's nothing here that you can change to really screw it up, right? So I'm trying to figure out like, you must have done something completely different. Here, this is what you could do. You could just open a new chart, because it's really hard to like mess this up. I mean, there's like nothing here that you can really mess up. Like even if you pull up the sessions here, unless you mess with the time. Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk after, we can, but it seems like what your problem is like super simple. So I could just clean it up right now if that's something that you need help with. There's a V1 variation setting up right here, guys, but it's rejecting off the sessions. So this is a red flag. You can't be touching the sessions like that. I mean, it could be a good thing because it can be a rejection off these sessions, but again, it's still considered a red flag. And if it pushes up any higher, it's going to be pushing up to the opening price right here. So I think it'd be a little too close. But yeah, there is a V1 pattern that is setting up right there. I wouldn't consider it a valid entry because of the sessions, but it is setting up right there. But yeah, Alan, if you want to talk to me later, you can. If you wanted to send it right now, because I like really don't have any idea of like how could this be different. The only thing I can tell that might be different is that you're either using delayed data. That's like number one. It's delayed data is number one, and then number two, you might be on a different time frame. So there's the indicators. There's nothing that you can really do to like mess this up. The main thing that's different is you're either on delayed data, you're either on a different time frame, or you're either on the wrong asset. So you might not be on the same asset as us. That's the only thing that can be different. That's why I could troubleshoot it for you super quickly, because I can just point out like, hey, this is what's wrong. If you're on delayed data, click on this right here, Alan. It should say market open. If it says delayed, you're on delayed data. That's probably what the problem is. That's the most common problem why your charts might look different, because if you're on delayed data, you're 10 minutes behind and the charts are going to look completely different. So if you want to check that, I mean, I've gone through pretty much every single problem that anybody could run into on these charts. So quick troubleshoot right there. And I think that'll probably solve your issue. But anyways, guys, there's no entries for us, so there's no problem. I mean, I can answer questions right here. I know a lot of times people try to avoid questions, but right now we don't have a buy signal. So for one, there's no buy signal. There's no entry for us to take here for a momentum pullback scalp. The high lows are pretty high up, so there's no entries over here. There isn't even a trend right now, so there's nothing for us to really take here at all. So nothing here at all. Price is kind of just ranging between the 4-hour resistance level right here. So we got the high point, we got the low point. Price is kind of, this might just be another fake out. So probably look out for the fake out here and pull back into the range. Yeah, exactly. Andrew said, look for the high level momentum scalp. That could be the key right there too. So we currently have a lower low right here. So if we do get a buy signal that breaks and closes past pivots 1 and 2, then that could be the case. If not, then there's like pretty much nothing here. The only other thing that can play out here might be the liquidity down below. So this is the only other opportunity that might come up. The reason why I'm looking at this down here is because we're starting to have a bearish trend. So if we start to have a bearish trend, then price might come down. Target price point will be this liquidity down here. But I mean, who knows? Price can go either direction. Price can either fake out and come right back up, or price can continue dropping back down and try to test the lower level of support. The problem with trading on a day like this, which is pre-Thanksgiving. So on Thanksgiving Eve, sometimes Thanksgiving Eve acts as a Friday, right? Because a lot of people want to take a long vacation. They want to stop trading from today up until next Monday, right? Because they want to be off for Thanksgiving. They want to be off for Black Friday. They want to be off for the weekend. So what might happen here is there might be a sell-off. So people might sell off of their positions and price might just come down kind of heavier because people are trying to get out for the weekend, right? Like you think about it, if all of the traders out there, the hedge funds, whoever's trading out there wants to clear out their positions for the weekend, they're going to do it today, right? Because the volatility is probably going to be slow on Friday with a lot of people either out of town or they're just not want to trade after the day after Thanksgiving. So just keep that in mind, guys. You just have to tie in a lot of these social events, right? To think about, okay, why are people selling off right now? People are selling off because they want to take a long weekend. They want to take Thanksgiving break earlier. And it just makes sense, right? You just have to use common sense and social thinking of like, what get into the minds of other people. Like if you're a hedge fund right now and you're here at your desk and you're like, man, I want to go home to my family for Thanksgiving, or I got to leave. I got to catch a flight to go to my Thanksgiving party on the other side of the world, right? People are they're gonna stop trading like kind of early. So let's check the volatility real quick. The volatility is actually pretty decent right now. It's a lot better than it was yesterday. It's currently at 17. We're getting a lot of back and forth movement, but it is moving somewhat directional. The thing that I would recommend that you guys look out for is the ATR, right? If the ATR starts to die down, currently it's at 17. If it goes down to like say 13, 14, maybe 12, then the market's dying down completely. And a lot of people are just pulling out for the weekend. So at that point, the market's probably just going to go sideways. I mean, right here, price is currently at these sessions, so it just might continue bouncing around this area and consolidate, but we'll see. All right, Gion. Yeah, Gion said, happy Thanksgiving, Sean, and the whole K2 team. Heading out to the gym early, done for the day. See y'all team on Friday. Yeah. All right, Gion, I'll see you back here on Friday. Have a great Thanksgiving. Probably talk to you later. But yeah, guys, if there's any questions, feel free to ask. There's nothing going on in the market right now. I'm still waiting. I want to take at least one trade, so I'm hoping to take at least one trade before we get off today. I'm pretty much flat for the day, for yesterday and today. So if you guys have seen my profits, these are my profits for the week so far. I mean, the profits are decent, but I have nothing for the day yesterday. That's pretty much yesterday's profit. So for the week so far, let's see, 550, 610, 1220, 1320, 27, 210, 564, 564. So I'm up 5,300 for the week. We only took one trade on Monday. It was a partial move. If you guys remember that entry that we took, I think it was a high-low scalp. Other than that, I didn't take anything yesterday. I haven't taken anything today. And I mean, that's pretty much it for now. So we'll continue to see. Hey, Alan's checking in with you if you were able to get that screenshot. So I can still help you right now if you want me to. Yeah, I don't see any messages here. So, all right, guys, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:10 right now. I'm not getting off anytime soon. I'm still looking for an entry, but you guys can see the volatility here is starting to get super, super flat. These candles here are just pretty much dead. Here's the clean chart. So basically the past 5 candles right here have been pretty much like almost no body. They're pretty much super flat. Yeah, Kevin said price keeps bouncing off the 530 news. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just sitting right there, right? It's bouncing off that and just kind of just sitting there. So you know what that's setting up for. It's setting up for a breakout. So just be careful, guys, and make sure you guys are being careful with your positions because this here is going to set up for a breakout. It's kind of just bouncing back and forth. And it's going to break out to the upside or it's going to break out to the downside. As you guys know, these are considered red flags, right? They're considered red flags for a reason because a lot of manipulation happens around these points. You can see how price comes down to these sessions right here, or like Kevin said, to the news price, and see how price gets manipulated right here. You can't get past the news price at all. It comes down, bounces. It's touched it about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And then it just might keep getting pulled back. The news price right here at 530 is acting like a magnet, right? So it just keeps going back and forth between, this area right here. Hey, Alan, I see your message. I think it might have been a typo for you. All right, so there we go. Kevin, back to your 530 price point right there. So yeah, it just keeps bouncing off that area there. Let's see if this is a breakout that we were waiting for. And then let's see if it climbs back to opening price. So now that price is kind of pushed away from this range. Let's see if price reaches its target price point, which is opening price. And then once it reaches that point, so this is the first level of price point to reach. Once it reaches that point, then maybe look even higher. Alan said, it won't let me send it to you. Where are you sending it? Are you sending it on Zoom? Are you sending it on Discord? Are you sending it? Oh, well, you can't send it to me directly. You'd have to post it in the chat, Alan. So like wherever you're typing right now, that's where you'd send it to. You can't send it to me as a direct message. You'll just post the picture on there. So there should be a, like a picture button or an insert button, and that's where it would send. You can't send me private messages on Zoom. On Zoom, you're messaging in a group where it says meeting chat. So I mean, if you want to post it there, if you want to send it to me on Discord, you can send it to me either place. I'm available on whichever platform you want to send it to me on. If you want to send it to me on Telegram, you can send it to me on Telegram. Yeah, I mean, wherever you want to send it. But you can't send me a private message if that's what you're trying to do. All right, so let's see, there's nothing here, guys. Still nothing here at the moment. Price kind of pushed away from that news price that Kevin was referring to, and then it looks like price is now trying to come right back down to it. Right. So this pink line right here is what Kevin's referring to. This was this is news from earlier this morning, 5:30. And it is just acting as a magnet here. There's actually a high-low scalp momentum that just came up. Thanks, Rashida, for mentioning that. There's a lower low right here. Buy signal broken, close past pivots 1 and 2. I totally missed that. I didn't even see that. Currently running in profit. Yeah, and I was looking for that too. That was the thing that we were looking at, me and Andrew. It's all good. All right, Brock said done for the day, Sean. Thank you for the live session. Much appreciated. Yeah, definitely, Brock. We'll see you back here on Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. Maddie said if it pushes up, it might go to open and previous news price at 7 o'clock. Yeah, I can see that too, Maddie. Target price point is going to be opening price right here. So it continues to climb up. It should be right there. All right, let's see. So Alan just posted up his screenshot. All right, so you got a lot of stuff going on your chart right now. Okay, so I can see exactly what the problem is, Alan. You can see right here where it says Heiken Ashi candles. You change your candles to Heiken Ashi. That's why it looks so weird. To change that, you go over here to your candles and you go to regular candles. And that's how you fix it. Also, if you want to clean up your chart, just looking at your quick screenshot here, you can turn off your SRV2s. You have a shaded area right here, so just go over into your sessions indicator. Turn off the background. This is why yours looks like shaded in the back, like how it does. You turn that off, it shakes out the background. So yeah, but the main reason why your candles look weird is because you're on the Heiken Ashi. It's pretty obvious right there. You just go to your candle button right there and then go to normal candles. And then if you want to clean it up, take off the background, turn off your SRV2s. We're not using that. Turn off your SRs. We're not using that either. You can turn off your MPS levels. We're not using that either, unless you're looking for a momentum pullback scalp. And then your chart should be super clean. That's pretty much it. All right, Maria. Maria said, have a nice Thanksgiving. Everyone, see you on Friday. Definitely, Maria, have a happy Thanksgiving. See you and your family, and I'll see you back here on Friday. Market kind of sucks right now. It's okay. If you guys want to get off, it's completely fine, guys. I'm going to stay on for a while. I want to look for at least one entry. I'm hoping I can get at least one. The trend here is not bullish anymore, so it's going to be tough for me to look for an entry. But I'm not ready to get off just yet. But all right, Maria, we'll see you back here on Friday. Alan said my trend meter and I have no momentum bars. So let me pull up your screenshot again. You have no momentum bars because you don't have the indicator on, Alan. So you don't have the momentum indicator on. If you look over here at your list, there's no momentum indicator. And then your trend meter down below looks fine. You just have to change your candles again from your Heiken Aishi. If you go down to your trend meter down below, just make sure that it's set to chart. It looks like yours is set to chart, so it looks fine to me. If it was set to specific time frames, it would have the times there, right? But I'm looking at your screenshot here. It doesn't have any times there, so I'm pretty sure your charts are fine down below. You can set that to chart. Right there. Randy said potential high-low. Yeah, so there's a potential high-low that's coming up right here. The only problem is that it's right at all the sessions right here. So I for sure would stay away from that area because look how price, every time it comes down, it kind of just bounces, right? But you do make a good point, Randy. That is a high-low, and it could be a possible triple confluence if it did close with the sell signal. The only thing is that there's so many sessions right here. I think sessions are probably one of the riskiest areas to trade because of the the ability to have price bounce directly off them because they bounce directly off. If you just look at this area right here, it just keeps like whenever it comes back down, ricochets off, bounce, comes back, bounces, comes back down right here, bounces, bounces, bounces. So yeah, I would like to take it, Randy, if that was the case. But if this wasn't here, that'd be a good entry. But again, right here, this is it's a V1 pattern, but there's a sell signal, so there's no entry there. And then also, like Maddie said, looks like it's ranging back and forth, probably going to squeeze and break out soon. 68 short, I can see a stop hunt towards the upside. Yeah, I can see that too, Maddie. I think if we get so Randy said high-low on the top side also. So I would like to take this, but I wouldn't take it because there's no confirmation of trend, right? Well, for one, yeah, it's at open. And then also on top of that, there's no trend. So in order to do that, you need to have a bullish bias, right? The short-term technicals are no longer bullish right now. They're actually neutral. So, I mean, technically, you could probably take it if like there was no red flags there, but I'll change this to neutral. I think the fundamentals might be neutral as well. Let's go and check that. The fundamentals right now are currently bullish neutral. So if it continues to climb up, it could be good. If not, then it might just stay flat. Retail sentiment over here is currently, let's see if it's changed at all. Pretty much the same. So Alan, back to what we were talking about earlier. If you want to add the momentum indicator, so you can see over here it says Kodi Kai momentum. If you go to indicators, invite only scripts, it's going to be the proprietary trading system. So basically the first indicator that was uploaded. That's going to be the momentum indicator. That's why you don't have it on, because it's not on your chart yet. But yeah, I think if you make all those changes, so change your candles to candles. Yours was at Heiken Aishi, that's why it looked like this, look completely different. Change it to regular candles. And then go to your sessions, turn off background. Then you can turn off all your SR indicators, SR and SRV2, because we're not using either of those. You can use them if you want, but we're not using them. That's why your chart looks kind of different. And then after that, just add the momentum indicator. And I think you should be good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Alan said he thinks he's all set. All right, great. So that's one thing that a lot of people do too. A lot of people use the Heiken Aishi and they forget, they don't realize that they're still on that candle. So I think that's the thing that kind of threw it off the most. Everything else looks fine though. So, all right, Alan. Yeah, if there's any other things that you need help with, just let me know. You know, I'm here to help you guys out. I know we typically don't answer questions during these live sessions, but today's just one of those days where there's nothing to take. Price is just ranging between opening price and so opening price, sessions, and news price down here. It's pretty much just ranging back and forth with nothing else to you're fine, Alan. Usually I wouldn't offer to help on the live session, but there's nothing for us to take here, so you're fine. I mean, it kind of helped us pass time anyways, because we didn't have anything to look at for like the past, let's see. So this whole area right here, there was nothing for us to look at. we were basically just hanging out for like a good 30 minutes. So it was a good time for me to just help you with that and answer whatever questions came up. But now that price is starting to climb back up, we might be able to look for maybe at least one possible entry here before it gets close to 8. So again, if you guys are looking to take V1 variations, you want to make sure that you're away from all of these red flags. You don't want any red flags around here. Same with the high-low scalps. This would be a nice high-low scalp right here, but the problem is there's no buy signal. This is actually a triple confluence right there. If anybody's looking to take that, the only, this is off quotes. So this would be a triple confluence. The only problem is that it's at a red flag again. It's right there at the news price. So we had a buy signal here, breaking close past the higher high right here. It's basically just a triple confluence pattern, but it's not an actual triple confluence because it's at a red flag. And then on top of that, it's also, yeah, trend meter's red, pivots are like technically bullish. So would have been nice if price was bullish, but it wasn't. So there's no entry there for a triple confluence. The pivots are starting to cross. So this is a good thing. You know, if the pivots here start to cross, we might be able to look for a momentum pullback scalp. Actually, I take that back. The ATR is currently down to 14. So as I warned earlier this morning, so I told you guys, you know, price over here was like at 18 ATR. I said once the ATR starts to drop down to like 13, 12, it's going to start to become a flat market. Right now, it's currently at 14, so it's slowly getting to that lower point. I'm hoping volatility picks up here a little bit, at least to 15, so that we can start looking for maybe at least one momentum pullback scalp. If not a momentum pullback scalp, something of the like. Yeah, I'm hoping we just get one of something today. There's actually a high-low V2 over here, Maddie, on the 5-minute. So it's currently running right now in profit. There's a high-low scalp V2 right here on the 5-minute currently running. So this higher high right here, you can see I marked it up earlier. So I already was looking at it. Price came above, pulled back below, shot back up right here. Now it's climbing back up. Price is back into the 4-hour resistance level. It did the fake out like I mentioned right here. So price was faking out right here, and then it pulled right back into the range, or pulled back into the resistance level. All right, the pivots are starting to cross again, so this is actually looking pretty decent. All right. There's another high-low scalp right here that's setting up, an older one. All right, so we're starting to get a bullish trend here. You guys can see the pivots are starting to shift. This is a good sign. It's a good sign, but the volatility is low, so we're not going to be able to get any of these momentum pullback scalps. You might be able to get some high-low scalps, but no momentum pullback scalps. ATR is currently 13, so it's just getting lower and lower. But you guys can see the pivots over here are starting to shift. So you can see the red pivot over here is crossing below all the other ones. Once we have that confirmation, we're going to have a bullish trend here to look at. Otherwise, not really too much here. There's no liquidity because all liquidity already got hit. Pretty much all these liquidity levels got hit. It's just retesting it now and making it climb back up. But this whole area is a resistance area. So it's pretty clear to see where price is trying to go. It's trying to pull back into this area. You guys can see the fake out happened above here. The other fake out happened down below here. And now it's just pulling back into this point here. The ATR is currently at 14. It's a little too low right now. the price is pushing back up. We have a slight confirmation of trend here. You can see it's on the last pivot here. If this candle closes green, then I'm pretty sure this here is going to confirm and it's going to be ready to go. We got that. And then this over here as well. So the 5-minute just hit full TP. If anybody was looking at this, I usually use this as a confluence, not as a standalone entry, but the 5-minute high-low scalp V2 just hit. So this over here is pretty much done with. Let's see, Alan said once liquidity is hit, that's done, correct? Yeah, pretty much it's done because it already got wiped out. So you can see over here the big push to the upside earlier. It pretty much wiped out all the liquidity that we had marked up. We had this liquidity marked up from over here. You can see these levels are pretty far back, like way over here. So once they get hit, they're pretty much done with for the most part. If they didn't push through, you can look for the retest of it, but these already pushed directly through, so they're pretty much done with for the most part. All right, we kind of have a bullish trend here. The only downside is the volatility again, guys. Volatility is not looking so great. We are getting a bit of a climb here. We got news at 7:30. Thanks, Patricia, for the heads up. Got news over here at 7:30. 7:30 news is gas stock change. You guys know this happens every week. It's not a high impact news event, but it can affect the market. So they're forecasting it here to be negative. I'm hoping it just pulls back. I didn't want it to break past it because now it just creates a new higher high. I want this higher high to be left alone, and I want it to kind of pull back a little bit. So when it comes back up, I can take that as a high-low scalp. But yeah, nothing here now. All right, so price is still climbing up slightly. Andreas, I saw your message about, I'll just look at it right now since we got some time, some downtime. So let's see. They said one lot of gold is worth $100. Okay, so if that's the case, then let's see. So you want a 2% risk on 100K count. So 100K divided by or times. Oops. There. So you're risking 2,000. If you want to risk that, if you're going to do that, then you have to do my math sucks. So I'll try to help you as much as I can. But if you're doing a one lot, I mean, it works with your thinger there. So like it's exactly what you drew up over here. So you'd be using yeah. So if you just look at this here, are you on here, Andres? So if you're on here, it's like literally lines up with what they said. So you see it says 100 contracts right there. That's the same thing that they said, a one lot, right? So your markup here is exactly what you should use. You should use a 1.3 lot size. I just pretty much answered my own question there. So Yeah, it's exactly what you sent me yesterday, Andreas. I'll message you later if you didn't hear that for me. But yeah, and Rashida said you can just use a quick trade manager. That's actually a lot easier. So I was trying to do that myself, but I mean, Rashida just jumped right to the answer. So thanks, Rashida, for the heads up. But I'll message you after, Andreas. I don't know if you're here on the live session listening. I see you're in the chat, but I don't know if you're on the live session listening. That's actually a good point that Rashida brought up. The quick trade manager is actually the easiest way to identify what lot size you should use for your risk, because that's what I do too for FTMO. Yep. So Maddie said there's that stop hunt. Yeah, I did exactly what Maddie was looking for right there. All right, so we got the news candle right here. Let me check the news real quick. So again, guys, as I mentioned, this is low impact news, but you still don't want to mess with it because you can see, even though it's low impact, we still have this big push right here, right? So you want to be careful, even if it's low impact. Doesn't matter if it's low impact, high impact. It can still be considered a risky type of news event. So anyways, right here, you can see the news was kind of mixed. It was positive and negative. And yeah, price did push up. So, all right, we currently have, so we don't have an opportunity here for a momentum pullback scalp. The ATR is too low. It's currently at 14. The only thing I can really look for here would be a high-low scalp. So that's the main thing that I'd be focusing on. The thing that you want to be careful for here, though, is that price is getting close to the upper end of the 4-hour resistance. So what you might get here is you might get a fake out above here again for a double top, and then it might just pull right back down, right? That's what you want to get caught in. But it might be enough just to hit your TP at least. Alan is asking, Sean, are you here on Friday? Yeah, I'll be here on Friday. Market might be slow, but I'll be here on Friday. I don't really Black Friday shop. It's crazy out there. I don't remember the last time I went Black Friday shopping. But yeah, I'll be here on Friday, guys, for our live session. I mean, especially with like the market we've been getting lately, I kind of want to hope to get something on Friday, especially if I don't get something today. But I'm hoping we get something today and something on Friday. 7:35 right now, guys. ATR is currently at 13. So I mean, it's exactly what we predicted. I mentioned, you know, the ATR over here is 18. I said once the ATR gets down to 14, 13, maybe even 12, the market's just going to suck. And that's kind of what's happening here. The market's been kind of sucking because it's just going to keep going back and forth. There's not enough volatility in the market for a price to actually move. I mean, who knows? Maybe like at the last 10 minutes or 20 minutes till 8, it'll start to pick back up. It's currently 7:35. We have about we got about 25 minutes up until 8. So D's asking, which trade manager are you using to calculate risk? I don't really use anything to calculate risk because I just use like the common sense math of it. So like I'm on a 200K account. So if I'm doing a 2%, I already know it's 4% or 4,000 risk. So I don't use it to calculate risk. The quick trade manager is just made to, because I don't know if you've looked at it, D, but it's a tool that kind of tells you how much you're risking. Like you can put your lot size, your point size, and then below it'll say how much you're risking and how much profit you're going to make. So I use the FTMO quick trade manager. That's what I use, but you can only use it with the FTMO accounts. So that's what I use to calculate. I don't really calculate my risk, but I know how much I'm supposed to be risking. So for me, I'm usually risking about 1.5 to 2.5 per trade, maybe 3% sometimes. And that's pretty much calculated into my TP stop loss because I'm on a 200K account. So I'm usually risking about 6,000 because their stop loss is usually 300. I'm using a 200 lot. So that's about like a 2.5% risk. If I was to risk 3%, it would be a little bit higher. But yeah, that's I mean, there's a lot of different calculators you can use. There's a bunch of risk calculators out there. It just depends on what you're looking for. But you can just do basic math. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it. You just go to like if you're on a 100K account and you wanted to risk, I don't know, 2% times 0.2, it's a $2,000 risk. And then you just put that into your quick trade manager and you just, play with the numbers until you see what sets up for a negative 2,000, which for me would be, like 100 lots. But I'm on a 200K account, so I don't need I could risk more than that. Let's see. Craig said, love how price just bounces off the first two pivots like this when trending. Yeah, exactly. That's like one-way CSUK trades. CSUK would like catch price to bounce off it. When it comes back for the retest, he would take his buy off the rejection right there. Let's see. Daniel said FTM was increasing max allocation to 600. You could probably add another account soon. Yeah, that's what I was looking at too. Yeah, I was looking at that. I don't know if that's only for the new accounts though. I'm hoping it's for everybody, because if that's the case, I got like one account that's just chilling and waiting to be added on. So I'm going to be doing that. They have a new account that's working with their AI company, but you have to be invited into that program. I don't know if I'll be invited. I mean, I should be invited, but I don't know if I will, because I've been kind of doing some, having those waiting accounts behind the scenes. So they haven't really told me anything about it, but I'm hoping that that's not a problem. But yeah, I think they select you for that program, the new program that they have out there. I think the Pro account or their something, Pro Plus. Sounds cool though. But if you look at the criteria, it's super strict. Like you can't fail an account, or you can't blow any account within the past four months or something. So it's kind of a strict guideline. But then again, they're only going to keep certain people. I don't think I've messed up on any accounts for the past 4 months, at least not that I can remember. So I should be able to, but I think you need to have like a certain amount of other criteria as well that's met. Yeah, C6 had been doing it all day, messed up on one trade today. Craig's asking, how do you know it's going to retest, or what to look for to class it as a retest and okay to trade it? A lot of times you just look for the first bounce or the second bounce, Craig, because it can't bounce forever, right? So like you can see how price kind of bounced up. It tested it like right there. That'd be the first bounce, second bounce. And for me personally, I used to trade this strategy too. It's a quicker way to trade, but I would only take it at like the first two bounces. After that, I'm like, all right, price has to break through. Because if you look over here, it's the same thing, right? Price pushes away. First bounce right there, comes back up, second bounce, third bounce, reversal. So for me, I usually only go for like the first two when I would do it. CSUK might do it a little differently. But that's typically, the way that I would do it, because it pretty much respects it a lot of times, especially if the market's trending. It's not the best market, but yeah, exactly. There's always different ways to look at it. The way that I would say is that you just have to look at it yourself, like see what you see on the chart, because for me personally, I see things differently. CSUK sees things differently. You see things differently. It just depends on the person, because like for me, it's pretty obvious, right? Two bounces and I'm out. CSUK, it's like, okay, maybe he's like three bounces, or three bounces and then maybe the third level here. And then for you, Craig, you might see things differently, like, oh, I want to take every single bounce and then just keep going until it doesn't work anymore, right? Because it's doable. I mean, especially if you want to do a one-to-one. Like the way that I would do it before is I would do a one-to-one. I would just do a TP the same length as whatever the red pivot is, 1818, right? Because if you're doing a one-to-one, you're fine. If you have one loss, you're gonna have two wins before you have one loss, and you're still in profit. All right, Andrew, see you back here on Friday. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, definitely. Let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. All right, guys, it's getting close to 8. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, the market is doing exactly what we predicted. I was hoping it wasn't going to do that, but it's doing exactly what I predicted. So as I mentioned earlier, price over here at ATR is currently at like 19, 18. I said once it drops down to like 13, 14, it's going to go flat. And that's exactly what happened here. I was hoping this wasn't going to be the case, but it's doing exactly what we anticipated. I'm not no wizard. This is literally what happens every day. So once this starts to happen, the market starts to go sideways and there's just no opportunities for us to take here. So again, there's nothing for us to take here, guys. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll see if there's any profits here that you guys have made for the day. So looking over here, we currently have Craig. So Craig locked in a total profit of 2,435 for the day. Nice work, Craig. Great work right there. All wins. We've got Kip here, total profit of 2,514. All wins here as well. Nice work, Kip. We have Barack over here, total profit of 7,500 for the day. All wins as well. Nice work, Barack. Earlier profits, 5,920. We've got Gian, total profit of 1,210 for the day. All wins here. We've got Valentine, total profit of 738 for the day. We've got Kip, total profit of about 645 per account, and then one main account over here, 2,750. And we have Kenny over here with a total profit of 1,020. Nice work, Kenny. So great work, guys, for everybody here. As you guys know, I haven't taken any trades today or yesterday. So same thing as yesterday. These are all my profits for the week. No trades for the day. I'm up about 5,000 for the week, so it's not horrible. I'm doing okay. Would have been nice to catch at least one more, but unfortunately, it's not looking like it. All right, Nick. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too. I'll see you back here on Friday. Let's see. I'm not really expecting much to happen here. I was hoping this would maybe push up a little more and then maybe give us one last entry here for a high-low scalp, but unfortunately, it is not looking like it. So I'm pretty content with my profits for the week so far. Again, looking at our results for the month and for the year so far, guys, we've been doing pretty great. So, I'm not going to go and FOMO into any trades here. I'm pretty satisfied with what I'm doing for the month so far. I mean, I'm surprised we're having a pretty great month for November. November is usually a hit or miss. It's not always going to be so great. But I think my discipline has gotten a lot better over the years. And during November here, I'm not really forcing anything. I'm kind of just taking things as they come. And we're doing pretty solid. So we currently have a 100% win rate right now for November, no losses. We haven't had a lot of trades, but the win-loss ratio is immaculate. It's pretty good for right now. Even October. So October was pretty good. I had one loss. Pretty good win rate. The win rate's been pretty great. It's been picking back up. So you can see over here, I kind of slacked a little bit in July. So June over here, we had a 91% win rate, only 2 losses. July, we had a couple more losses. I was testing out the momentum pullback scalp. August, this is where I slacked a lot. I had a 68% win rate, a bunch of losses for the momentum pullback scalp. You can see over here in my notes, I said dumb trade, should have been avoided, criteria not met. September, it got better, 82%. October, we had 95%. And then now for November, we have currently 100% win rate. So hopefully we'll close out this month with 100% win rate, no losses. But we'll see. I mean, the market, we'll pick back up on Friday. Hopefully we'll get some volatility so we can take at least 1 or 2 trades. If not, I'm not going to force anything. So again, if you guys are new here and you guys want access to all the stuff that we're doing here, all the courses, all of the indicators and stuff like that, just go to our website. I typically don't advertise this to anybody, but it's Thanksgiving. I'm in the giving mood and I actually want everybody to get on track with everybody here. So if you want to go to the website, kodikaitrades.com. Again, if you guys are part of the Discord and you're new to it and you guys want to see all of my trades for the year, just go down to the trading journal right here. Click on 2023 official live trades. The spreadsheet's right here. It has every trade I've taken for the year of 2023. I tried to do 2022, but it was just too much work. So I kind of gave up on adding this here. I don't think it's really necessary. I think it's, 2023 is going to be good enough. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think there's some more profits here. We've got Francis, total profit of 450 per Apex account. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 1,000, well over 2,000-3,000 right there. So nice work right there, Francis. And then his second account over here for Tradeovate, total profit of 550, all wins there as well. Nice work, Francis. All right, guys, you guys did pretty good. So I think that's about it for today. I don't see anything else here. So just just want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'm really thankful for all you guys here, because honestly, I wouldn't have this consistency without all you guys here kind of on my case. Because if you guys weren't here giving me a hard time, asking me a bunch of questions, or like kind of testing me and all this stuff, I probably would make a lot of mistakes. So like, it's been a great year so far, great month for sure. No losses, not a lot of trades, but no losses. So I think that's a key thing there. So, all right, guys, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Spend some time with your friends and family, and I'll see you guys